Great, thank you. All right, so my name is Chelsea Jander. I am a senior park project manager for the County of San Diego Department of Parks and Recreation. I'll be your host for this evening. But with me this evening, we also have a team from county libraries and from our operations division within county parks. We'll have each one of the team members introduce themselves as we get to their sections of the presentation. But tonight, we are hoping to hear from you all regarding improvements needed at public facilities and to discuss program expansions. But before we get started, a couple of housekeeping items, and then we'll get on to the project update. So we're using the Zoom webinar platform, so you won't have microphone or camera access, but you will be able to write in with your questions or comments using the Q&A feature. Just click the Q&A icon in your toolbar and type in your question. We'll either respond directly in the answer section, or we'll do our best to address your comment in the live Q&A session at the end of the presentation. You may want to also write down the phone number and meeting ID number on the screen, and you can use this to call in case you lose your internet connection at any point during the meeting. A recorded version will also be available online after the presentation is complete. We'll share the links at the end of the presentation, and they'll be available on the project website. All right, and if you're using a mobile device, the Q&A feature is located on the bottom right of your screen. Okay, so a quick overview of our meeting roadmap before we get started. So we're going to do a quick overview of the presentation, why we're here, and then kind of jump into some of the details: community center amenities, park amenities, recreation and park programs, library programs, intergenerational programs, and then an opportunity to hear from you all if there's any Q&A or comments. But hopefully also getting your feedback on the online survey that we have. Okay, so we're here tonight to hear from you. We want to better understand the needs of the community, where those gaps exist, and how we can better serve you. Specifically, we want to focus on improving needs like community centers, libraries, and parks. And then we also want to hear about programming needs, focusing on intergenerational, recreation, educational, and workforce training opportunities. So a lot to cover, but we'll kind of walk through each one of these segments. So first up is community center amenities. We want to hear from you about what amenities your community center might need. Would you like make sure that there's public restrooms or complimentary Wi-Fi that's open and available for people to access? Is it a flexible meeting room like we have here at Santa Ysabel Nature Center? A band stage and or performance space, drinking fountain with water bottle filler, kitchen for catering and or food production, nature education displays, historical museum, library book pickup locker, seed library, or EV charging station. So the next slide, we'll kind of look at a couple of those examples as well. So a performance stage with a flexible gym. So there's that performance kind of stage in the back, and then the gym can be used for pickleball or other sports things kind of on the interior. Is that something that's important to you as part of your community? Also an example of the library book pickup locker. This is just an image that we had pulled off the internet, but something that's up and coming. And then to the right is an example of the historical interpretation at Heritage County Park that one of our rangers produced. So lots of examples of what could be coming to your community center as far as amenities go. And then up next is park amenities. So we'd love to hear from you about what park amenities are important to you. Is it an outdoor meeting space? Is it a playground, walking paths and or trails, drinking fountain with a water bottle filler, demonstration garden, sports fields like soccer, football, and so on, or sport courts like basketball, tennis, and pickleball? Over here on the right, we have an example of a playground, beautiful playground at El Monte County Park. And then an example on the top left of the outdoor classroom and meeting space. Tennis court at Collier County Park down below, and then just a picture of a demonstration garden, just to kind of get some ideas going on what is important to you all as far as park amenities. And now I'll hand it over to Marco.
Marco, I think you're muted.
Sorry about that. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Marco Mares. I'm the region manager for the East County region that includes Lake Morena, Potrero, Pine Valley, Agua Caliente, and Vallecito parks. I would like to share with you tonight some of the current recreation and programming that we currently offer at the facilities located in this region. We offer a variety of programming for all ages and interests. For example, we've hosted fishing, kayaking for beginners at Lake Morena Park, and community holiday events like the Haunted Trails at Potrero Park, as well as educational and interpretive programming like the Live Raptor event that was held at Potrero Park. In addition, park ranger staff offer presentations to students at various schools, like Career Day at Mountain Empires High School, and outdoor safety presentation that we did at Descanso Elementary. These are all examples of what we currently provide to the community, but we ask for you today to have your input as to what you would like to see offered. Some of our programming is catered to connect participants of all ages. Specifically, DPR offers intergenerational programming at various parks and facilities. For example, events like Gramping, which allows for grandparents raising grandchildren to enjoy a weekend of camping at a local county park. The program provides the necessary supplies and equipment for families to remove barriers that would normally prohibit them from participating in similar activities. Other programs include senior lunch, tutoring, and reading programs, and health and wellness activities. In addition, events like the Summer Movies in the Park series provide families of all ages and abilities to take in a movie in an outdoor setting. I will now pass it on to Kristen of the County Library.
Hello, my name is Kristen Ward, and I'm Principal Librarian for Learning, Marketing, and Engagement with the San Diego County Library. I'm so excited to be here tonight to speak with you. As many of you know, our county libraries are community hubs, especially in our most rural communities. And we want to hear about what you want to see at the library. So there's a lot of examples of what we can do. Kind of the possibilities are endless. So we're not just a place for books and DVDs and computers. We're also a place for neighbors to gather to enjoy the large number of programs we have, including story times and early learning activities for the little kids, STEAM and STEM programs, our library high school program where adults 19 and up can finish their high school requirements and receive a diploma. And that's the photo that's up on the screen. It's my favorite part of my job, favorite day of the year. So that was sponsored by our Friends of the Library groups. We also have citizenship classes at some of our branches. And then we have a community service program for teens called Service Learning at many of our branches. We have book clubs and sustainability programs, including partnerships with Department of Public Works to bring fix-it clinics and composting classes to our unincorporated areas. And then don't forget that everything at the library is free. In addition to the wide variety of programs and cultural experiences we have, we also have technology and high-speed internet at all of our branches. In most of our locations, the Wi-Fi signal can even be reached from our parking lots, which can be essential in many of our rural areas. On top of all of this, one of the most important things we offer is simply space. Libraries are community gathering spaces that can be used to host a variety of meetings, both formal and informal, to bring neighbors together to foster a sense of community. We hope that you take the time to fill out this survey and let us know what you want to see at your library. And I'm going to pass it back to Chelsea.
Thanks. Sorry, I had to find my mute button. All right. So thanks, Kristen and Marco. So we've talked a lot about programs, parks, libraries, and we hope you're excited as we are. One other piece that we would like to discuss this evening before we move on to the Q&A and comment portion of the presentation is just to discuss where. So we're focusing on Mountain Empire Unified School District, which you see here. And it's a large area, but it includes a lot of communities from Descanso, Pine Valley, and Empire regions. All right, so we want to know, where would you like to have these parks and programs? And we listed out a few in the survey that we know of. So select all that apply, and if we missed any, please let us know. We have the Backcountry Resource Center, the Highland Center, Descanso County Library, Potrero County Library, Pine Valley County Library, Jacumba County Library. There's the Community Center in Potrero, also Campo Moreno Village County Library, can't forget that one. Mountain Empire Community Center and Descanso Town Hall. So please let us know, where would you like to see these programs happen and with these park improvements happen, so that we can better serve you all and serve the community better. So just a quick overview as to where we're headed for this kind of planning and project effort. So you'll see on the bottom left is the county department. We've just been coordinating also with our Department of Planning Development Services, county libraries, and county parks. So we've been working on this since October, and is kind of an ongoing effort to provide the best service to the community. We have a live online survey that's live now. And we'll go ahead and send those links in the chat for people to access. And that's kind of what we hope to get as much feedback as possible, using those survey to really get as many pieces of feedback on this topic as possible. Yesterday, we actually had a roundtable meeting with some of the CPG chairs and some of the Friends of the Library heads as well. So we had a little bit of a discussion there kind of around this same topic. Today, we're at the virtual public meeting. And then the online survey will close next week. So you have 7 days from now, about 7 days from now to take the survey. And then we'll close that survey and we'll kind of compile the results. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it together in a memo, that like a report that will kind of compile and draft kind of some of our findings, things that we've heard from the community planning groups as far as park requests and community center requests through our public land dedication ordinance efforts, things that we heard in the roundtable meeting yesterday, anything that we hear today from you tonight. And then obviously the things that we hear about the online survey. So, and then we plan to have a final memo that we'll give to the Board of Supervisors in April. So things are happening quickly, but we are excited to hear from you all. So if you have any questions about parks and rec, I'm more of the park side, Marco's more of the rec side. And then obviously Kristen is our partner with county libraries. So our information is here in case anyone needs that. And then, we're ready to move on to our Q&A feature for tonight. So as a reminder, we're using that webinar platform, so you won't have access to the microphone or the camera access, but you will be able to write in your questions or comments using the Q&A feature. Just click on the Q&A icon in the toolbar and type in your question. With that, I'd like to open it up for questions and turn things over to Jessica, who will help see if there's any questions or comments for our Q&A session.
Thanks, Chelsea. Good evening, everybody. My name is Jessica Geisler. I'm the Marketing and Public Outreach Manager for the County Parks and Recreation team. As you saw, we have a lot of great opportunities there, a lot of awesome options for amenities, for resources, for programs that are specific to the real needs of the Mountain Empire community. We need to hear your perspective. We want to know what you would like to see and what would be beneficial to you as an individual and also as part of as your group. This is your chance to tell us what you'd like to see. We don't see any comments quite yet in that Q&A session just yet, but we'd love to share the survey link with you. I believe that's going to be popping up in the chat in just a moment. When you open the survey, it's pretty quick. It'll take you about 10 minutes to complete. And we've lumped the questions into specific buckets. So you're going to be able to see, here's types of things that we could add that are related to a library. Here's things that are connected to a community center or to a park. So take a look through all of that. If you don't see what you like on the list that we provided, please use that other option and fill in the blanks tell us what those different options are, and we'll take a look at them and circle back at our next meeting. So let's see, Chelsea, real quick, can we talk through the timeline again? Because I know we've got the survey open. Let's remind folks when that survey closes and when we anticipate having an information session about all of the data that we've collected.
Definitely. Okay, let me see if I can pull that up. So I did put the chat in the chat, the link to the survey, as well as the just contact information for me, Kristen, and Marco. Okay, so going backwards a little bit. So here's the timeline again. So that survey is going to close next week. So we hope that building off the momentum of this meeting, that we will be able to get, any remaining feedback. We did open it, I think, earlier in February, right? Like right at the beginning of February. So hopefully we can have as much feedback as possible in the next week or so. And then we'll be working on that draft memo. And that memo is going to be kind of the synopsis of the public outreach and the meeting survey that we've had. So that'll be kind of captured in that report that will be available.
Okay. And then do you know roughly what time we might be expecting to circle back with the community and just share the findings and kind of report back on what it looks like the top priorities are for Mountain Empire?
Yeah, so that'll be in coming up real soon in April. So once that survey closed, we'll take about the month of March to look at the data and then work on that report. And then in April, that'll be available to the community to kind of check out the report and see, what the survey results were, and that'll all be included in that memo.
Awesome, thank you.
Mhm.
And on the call too, we have on the sdparks.org website, that's the Parks and Recreation's website, sdparks.org. If you just type in /public meetings, that's where we post our public meeting information. We also post recordings there, and we will on occasion post survey data as well as on our development page. So if you just go to our search function, you type in what you're looking for, things should pop up pretty quickly. Looks like we have a question coming in here from Larry. Larry's asking if we can provide classes in conversational Spanish in the Campo area. That's a fantastic question. So as a programmatic type question, I'm going to hand this one over to Marco.
Hi, good evening, Larry. So yeah, we'll be looking at being able to provide, I think we could work with libraries to be able to provide that type of training classes to the community. So it's definitely something that we've already heard previously from the CPG group meeting we had. So definitely something that will be considered and noted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, but I should definitely hand that one to Kristen. You know what I was thinking of was providing programs in multiple languages, which is something that we do offer here at Park. So thank you, Marco, for jumping in there. Kristen, can you talk a little bit about your multilingual courses?
Yeah, so we usually work with partners when we do classes of that nature. So we actually are currently trying to find some partners who will go into our more rural areas to do not only Spanish, classes like ESL classes, but also classes in Spanish. So like interesting things in Spanish. And we actually have a partner who's interested in doing it remotely. So that's something that we're looking into and trying to figure out what the technology needs are. And like the teacher is actually in Mexico and can provide all sorts of interesting classes. So that's something we are working on right now. And we'll keep you updated on that.
Great, thank you. And thank you for including that in the Q&A today, because that means it's part of our meeting record and it's making it onto our list of preferred amenities or opportunities for Mountain Empire. Let's see, we'll leave it open for another minute or so to see if anybody else has any comments or questions to share. Got a lot of fun stuff that was covered today. The demonstration garden was pretty cool. We have a lot of those in parks, actually. We have like, bird and butterfly gardens that support local pollinators, and also just a great way to showcase some of the native species that we have here in San Diego. Our rangers do a great job kind of curating the type of things that grow in these spaces, and checking on their progress and trying out new stuff. Same thing with trees. We're always planting new trees. So in all of our developed properties, we're looking to help replenish San Diego's tree canopy by replacing 3 trees for every one that's lost. So that's just something that kind of comes along with all of the park projects that we prioritize. It's something you can certainly look forward to in this community. Well, it looks like we're not getting any more questions in here. Quite a bunch tonight. We understand that there were potentially some issues with connectivity because of the crazy weather events that we're experiencing. But for those who joined, thank you so much for being here. We really, really do value your opinion and your feedback. Please take that survey, be honest and candid, and give us as much information as you can share. We look forward to reporting back what you shared with us once we hear back from the rest of the community. So I'm going to hand this back over to Chelsea.
Great. Thank you so much, Jessica. And thank you for being here tonight. So yeah, great synopsis. Please take the survey. I did put it in the chat. And then if you had any other questions or any other comments that came up or things that we missed on the survey that you wanted to let us know about, please let us know. I put my contact information, and then Marco and Kristen's here as well on the screen to just kind of close this out. So feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions or comments. But otherwise, I just want to thank everybody and have a great night.